With former US President Donald Trump out of the Oval Office, China has turned increasingly belligerent. Of late, its naval vessels have been frequently intruding into Japanese waters. However, US President Joe Biden seems to be completely indifferent towards America's Indo-Pacific ally. But now, Japan has a new friend in the form of France, which has stepped up to fill this void left by the US in the Indo-Pacific. And with his latest bid, Emmanuel Macron has sent a clear message to the US and China that France has got Japan's back. You're watching TFI Global, the foreign affairs and geopolitical analysis arm of the TFI Media Group. I am your host Rohan Sachdeva, and in this video, I'll explain how Macron's push to improve France's defense partnership with Japan is a clear message for both Biden and China. French President Emmanuel Macron has a stern message for both the United States and China. France has got Japan's back. The Epoch Times reported that from May 11th to May 17th, French army troops will be training in Kyushu, Japan at Kirishima Training Ground, along with Japan's GSDF, or the Ground Self-Defense Forces, and US Marines. The 7-day exercise is going to be historic, since this is the first time that foreign troops other than US military forces would be training on Japanese territory. Apart from all the symbolism and the messaging that the exercise carries, it is strategically planned in the southwesternmost of Japan's main islands, near the East China Sea, the present venue of growing military tensions between Beijing and Tokyo. The exercise will involve Japan's Amphibious Rapid Deployment Brigade, which is often described as Japan's very own Marines. However, the present exercise is way more important, both at a diplomatic level and in terms of geopolitical significance. The very fact that Japan is shedding its pacifism in order to let French forces in is a reminder of how the Macron administration has been successfully able to win the trust and confidence of French allies in the Indo-Pacific. By training in one of Japan's islands, Paris is also warning Beijing that French forces are ready to complement Japan in the East China Sea. In the recent past, Chinese vessels have been frequently intruding into Japanese waters near the Senkaku Islands in the East China Sea. Tokyo perceives these intrusions as a serious security threat, and in this sense, an apparent show of French support does act as a deterrent against potential Chinese military adventures. More importantly, Macron is sending some really strong signals to his US counterpart. As the French army trains on Japanese territory, Biden stands warned against abandoning Japan. For Paris, Chinese expansionism and belligerence in the Indo-Pacific is an ideological and strategic threat, whereas Japan is a natural ally for the European power. The French president has a very clear strategy. If Biden abandons Japan and creates a security vacuum in the East China Sea, then the French military forces will fill in that vacuum immediately. Emmanuel Macron's push to improve France's partnership with Japan is a warning signal for Biden. The US president will have to maintain sufficient troop presence for Japan's support, or Paris will have no qualms in taking care of Japan's security needs. France is ready to replace the US when it comes to acting as Japan's best friend in terms of defense cooperation, and that would be a major jolt for both Biden as well as American strategic interests in the Indo-Pacific. In fact, if Biden doesn't act proactively against China, it might as well lose much of the influence it presently enjoys in the region. France has thus scored a massive geopolitical victory with its latest maneuver.